Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
We're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. It's a show designed to help the policyholder, the consumer that's had a hail, wind claim, fire claim, and we're here to talk about property insurance. This show is going to be based around Colorado today. I'm live. We've got an attorney in-house, Ed Levy Law Group. He's an attorney that specializes in insurance and problematic claims. We've got Stevie Solomon, former shingle manufacturer rep, very experienced at the manufacturer industry side. And we've got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors and Contractors. He's live. He's a general contractor based in Colorado on the Front Range. He handles commercial and residential, and he's got a tremendous amount of experience. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. I'm a public adjuster. I've been a regular insurance adjuster. I'm a roofer, general contractor, and an insurance appraiser. And we're going to get right into it and pick up where we basically left off. We're talking about the quality of contractors and pricing. And Ryan, to the right of me, was talking about, not all contractors are created equal. And do you really want to hire the cheapest contractor and why you might not want to? And we're going to roll it right in with hail season coming up. And we're going to talk about what you should be looking for in that hail claim. And then we'll get into what kind of contractors you should be looking for that specialize in hail claims. Because it has become a lot more cumbersome and a lot slower moving as the insurance industry tries to keep control of claims and claims costs, and there's all kinds of stuff going on in the industry. You want to pick it up from there, Ryan, about where to start when you get a hail claim?
Sure. I think that most people that we've found when they have a hail claim, it's traumatic, right? Typically, the way that you know that you've had a hail claim is because you probably got 30 door knocks and you don't know which contractor to go with, but all of a sudden your neighbors are getting roofs and so forth. So here's typically the scenario that we hear from the customer. One is they're stressed out. They're getting 30 to 40 knocks a day. They don't know who to go with. Their roof hasn't been damaged 150,000 times, or they just moved here. Who do I go with? What do I do? Hail can't be seen from the ground. So a leak starts, something happens, and then you're in emergency mode. So what we recommend is, hey, do your due diligence, right? Get online, look through the stuff and interview people. Bring people out that actually get on your roof. They're going to show you photos. They can go through, they can do an entire inspection, right? And that they're going to show you and walk through what that process looks like that's comfortable to you. And that process should look like a 5-point inspection. They go through, they're going to walk the entire property, even all your personal contents. They're going to look at the roof last, but typically they do a counterclockwise walk. They're going to mark and chalk line everything up, and then they're giving you a full report at the end. And then here's what the time frames are. And I think for Phil and Ed, we can talk about time frame from last year, because my average claim from last year is taking anywhere from a year to a year and 6 months to get completed.
And so that's interesting for the consumer to know. The insurance companies tighten their belt a lot. There's a lot of information micromanaging because of computers, and these are taking a while. You can expedite some things, but you want to be prepared. If you want to get your true value of your claim, it's going to take a while.
And time does not necessarily work in your favor, because with this type of claim, if the insurance company is dragging its feet, you could be against the statute of limitations to seek some kind of help or relief from the court system should it start exceeding, a reasonable time frame or the 2-year statute of limitations on some claims.
Yeah, so we have a 2-year statute of limitations on commercial claims in Colorado. Often the policies will say there's a 1 year to bring suit against us or 2 years to bring suit in residential policies, but there was a bill that came out that extended it to 3 years. You still want to make your claim because there's some interesting case law in Colorado that with an insurer that fought a claim, and the whole $3 million claim got negated for untimely following. It used to be a prejudice rule we followed. If there was no prejudice done to the insured, you could just always file the claim. So it complicates things a little bit. You're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. We're an expert panel speaking about insurance and property claims in Colorado, and we'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with insuranceclaimsradio.com. Check us out. We've got a panel of experts here, and we're just talking about getting into late reporting, what you should do for an insurance claim. One of the things we've learned that you should do for an insurance claim is because some case laws come down where policyholders have been penalized really severely for not reporting their claim promptly when they're known about the claim. We're going to get into that with attorneys in a future show, that actual case. But it's important now because of that specific lawsuit that you do report your claim as soon as you know it. You don't want to be penalized or your claim negated for untimely reporting.
Right. And there's usually provisions in a policy that says you got to notify us within 6 months of this addition, or you got to notify us if you find, pollutant or contaminant, things of that nature. So you have to also immediately check your policy, because that statute of limitations is okay for a lawsuit, but you may exclude your coverage by not reporting sooner.
Wouldn't you say too, Ed and Phil, that also as a insured, commercial, residential, doesn't matter, that you should send, when you're making a claim, your very first claim, it should all be done in writing, whether that's email or snail mail, doesn't matter. It needs to be done, because if you just call in and they lose the notes, you didn't file the claim.
The one important thing is, like when you're a public adjuster, like I am, is we track everything. I even take pictures. If I'm the one calling in the claim for my customer and I call it in, I'll take a picture, and I always follow it up in writing or get the claims email. I want 2 proofs. Anytime I put a proof of loss in, which is often a policy condition, and it starts the clock ticking to help expedite your claim if they're going to pay it or deny it, and then you can get down to the facts. I send that in by certified or registered mail. I send it in by email, and I'll call it in. I'll get it in. I want to make sure there's record of it, because it's not everybody always assumes the insurance company is being dishonest, but a lot of times, and I was an adjuster running many adjusters for insurers. It's kind of chaos when these catastrophes hit, and a lot of things get lost in the shuffle. Things are a lot more electronic. You assume sometimes things go out and they bounce back and you don't know, or they end up in your spam folder. It even happens to the insurance companies. So, that gives them a way out. I mean, you still have a claim, you filed it timely, that gives you a way out too. But you just want to make sure you're dealing with professionals. It's become a complex system handling claims. Let me say that at the least. I've been an adjuster for many decades. So, let's talk about when a hail claim hits. And Ryan was talking about, the first thing I always recommend to you, the consumer, document it. When I was an adjuster, you don't know how many times, I'll get out there and the damage doesn't look that bad. We're moving really fast. So I'm an adjuster. We're moving fast, even though I'm a roofer, an expert roof inspector. I'm faster. I had a roof in Omaha one time where the roofer was mad at me, and I'm a roofer. And he's like, "You missed the damages. I just wrote it for repairs." I'm like, "Go back there." And because the sun was it was a pitch black shingle, and the sun was going down, you can't see the aggregate popped out. And I did it right at dusk. And when I was there in the morning, I was like, wow, I did miss some damages. Now it's just an error on the adjuster. And a lot of times adjusters are like, no, there's no damage. But I'm like, you know what? We missed some damages. This is a lot worse than we saw, because you're relying on human. We're tired. We're doing a visual inspection as an adjuster. And these are great reasons to hire one of the experts on this panel. Is they're going to go out there. They got skin in the game. They want your claim. They want to make a profit. They're profit driven, absolutely. And they're going to put their soul into it. And you want that experience. Experience accounts for that. For example, there is like, I thought, I didn't miss any damage. We got a roofer with light damage that's trying to push, and I got there. But when the sun was up, damage quite clearly on the black shingle because I could see where the aggregate was missing. It's really hard with black aggregate and an asphalt mat behind it that's black to see the damage. So yeah, that experience is for me to always go, hey, if somebody is certain there's damage out there and I talk to them and they're credible, I'm going to get back out there when I'm an adjuster. Now, often I represent the consumer now when they have a troubled claim. So a lot of time the CAT industry, the CAT adjusters come in. They can often be on a fee schedule or they can be in-house. I know State Farm has some of their in-house CAT team, and some other insurance companies have gone to it. And then sometimes they're still supplementing when they get really busy with independent adjusters. So those guys are going fast, and there's things to be missed, or they might miss paint damage on your house. So it's really important to get someone who's experienced. And the reason I tell you, the consumer, to take photos right after the loss, it's much more impressive when I see tree limbs down and I see leaves all over. I know there was a real hail event. I see the chaos. When you have it all cleaned up, all pretty, sometimes I don't understand the multitude of the storm. But when I can see there's tree limbs down, I'm like, there was wind damage here too. Because when I'm an adjuster and I'm focusing on a hailstorm, I'm just looking for hail damage. But if I don't realize there's wind at the start of that hailstorm, I just got in town for a CAT, it's easy to miss because those shingles are gone back down. The sun's hit them. You don't realize it. And I'll get into that. Why is that important, wind damage? Well, you can get debris, leaves, dust blown under those shingles. They lift up, it breaks the seal. And now you're more susceptible for wind blow-offs next time. And maybe you're carrying a percentage deductible or a $5,000 deductible and you have 30 shingles blow off. Well, you're not going to call in a claim, so now you're paying out of pocket. Could have been first claim. It can be an ongoing problem, these kind of things. So I always say document, help. If you're going to hire a professional roofer or a public adjuster, document. It helps them out. Document your conversation with the insurance company. Oh, yeah, he agreed on this. Sometimes, insurance companies pull damages back. You want to have that documented.
And it helps your attorney. If the policyholder can grab a softball-sized chunk of hail and put it in the freezer, take pictures of those limbs being down and the power lines being down and things of that nature, and the communication with the insurance company, that helps if there ever needs to be a legal resolution or an appraisal resolution of the case.
That brings me into something really awesome. So I'm a professional insurance appraiser. Been doing this for 33, 34 years now. Got to do the math to figure that out. And I was involved in a claim. I'm going to mention the claim because I've got permission from the owner to use this claim. It was Wrigley's Bar out on Colfax. And in that claim, the other appraiser, a professional consulting company, and he came onto the claim and said, I've been doing this 33 years. This is old damage. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm going to tell you right now, less than 1.25, 1-inch hail hit here. And I said, are you kidding me? Oh, I handled Colorado Mills Mall. I'm the lead construction consultant at the biggest claim in Colorado 2 years ago. And I said, okay, that's great. But I said, you know what? I've been doing this 33 years and I'm also an adjuster. So now that I'm happen to be representing you, the consumer, on this claim, Wrigley's Bar, I'm like, guys, this is real damage. So they paid approximately, I'm not going to name the insurance company, but they paid approximately under $4,000 for that claim. Anyways, it was a long fought, just over a year battle. We're able to secure the client an award in excess of $100,000 so they could get their flat roof and their claim fixed. The owners, Skip, fantastic, got the best pizza down there at the end of Colfax. And one of the ways I was able to win that claim is we're arguing over the size of hail. So we got a meteorologist, yes. But I'm talking to my owner. I'm like, do you guys have anything? I want to put a poster up in your bar, get some footage because the storm hit in the afternoon, early evening, and there was patrons there. And he's like, oh, Phil, I got here 30 minutes after the storm. I was coming from up north. I got pictures of hail, and my 3 cars were totaled in the parking lot. So I said, that's fantastic. Skip, can you get me those losses? And can you get me a picture of hail? Well, I'll look. If not, we'll find it. And he got me a picture of that hail. And so, as the claim went on, I sent that into a forensic lab that gives you measurements based off his hand size. So we measured his hand, and then we sent that in. And the hail was over 2 inches. It was 2 1/8 inch. The hail he had in his hand 30 minutes after the storm. Now, he picked up one. Could there be a hail that was maybe 2.25 inch? Probable. But we had pieces of hail that were over 2 inch. And the kinetic energy from 1 inch to 2 inch, I got to look it up, but it's well over 500%. So we have a guy, 33 years, who says he's one of the best in Colorado, telling me it's less than 1.25 inch hail, maybe only an inch. And I brought that picture out, and he had to eat his lunch. And so we were able to wrap up a successful claim in excess of $100,000 so the client can get all their work done. So that's how important pictures are. When they say pictures tell 1,000 words, they sometimes tell more and can win your claim. So if you have a water claim, a fire claim, you're moving contents out, take pictures, document, shoot some little video. It's really helpful, and it helps. A lot of times there's some insurance companies these days, not all, some are fantastic. Others are just like right away assume like, oh, it's not that bad and you're trying to milk us. And that's not necessarily true. So it's very, very important to document. And like Ed said, it will help the attorney if it gets messy and you have to go that route.
But that's why you should hire an expert like Phil, somebody like that who can look at it and say, no, wait a minute, this is twice as big of hail, or this is what actually happened here. Somebody who will do the background investigation, because the insurance company wants to adjust the claim. They're required to do that by law. They're required to exercise good faith. But there's a limit to the amount of diligence they may be willing to do to meet that good faith standard. If you have somebody like Phil on board or somebody like Ryan on board, where they're fighting for you and looking at it and saying that this is really what happened, then that claim goes from $4,000 or deductible up to what it really takes to fix the roof, $100,000 or whatever that number is.
And I think that's a good point. The other thing is, I think if you're talking to us as experts that and you don't have pictures, that's okay as well, because there are applications out there where you can actually get how that storm tracked, and not necessarily from the insurance company. We can go out and pull our own reports with people that track hail all the time. And
we'll get into those reports and how helpful they are. We're going to take a quick break. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach me or any of the experts at 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach me, Phil Coutu, or any of my hosts, co-hosts here at 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247. You can also text me at 720-296-34. And we got a panel of experts that specializes in property insurance claims. We've got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors and Contractors. We have Ed Levy from EV Law Group and Stevie Solomon from Tamco. And we were talking about how important it is to document your claim, have pictures. And then Ryan said, okay, if you didn't get the pictures or you're out of town or you didn't know, there's also ways for us to try to substantiate damage. But let me tell you, pictures and all that stuff is the cheapest format and the best way to help document. But we can go so far as I'll let you take it up, Ryan, to track what size of hail is to prove to the insurance company. Because sometimes you have to prove your claim.
Yeah, and I think is when you're going out and you're trying to prove the claim and the contractors out there, there are other applications that we can use. There's meteorologists that are specific to hail that you can call that can track the storm, because the insurance company uses their own system, and then they don't have, in at least my opinion and the claims that we've been in, that they've hired a meteorologist to go in and say, where did that storm actually go? They can be a mile to 2 miles off, just you as an insured. So, if they come in and say, well, that's not the date, you really want to make sure you have a contractor that really understands the insurance realm and really understands what the storm is, and that's local. I can't say enough that's a local contractor, that's a trusted contractor that maybe has done work with insurance companies as well as a preferred contractor that you can go back and, okay, this person makes me feel comfortable, like Phil said before.
Yeah, and it's the forensic part is a huge part sometimes in proving a claim. we go so far as hire professional meteorologists because sometimes they're using this cloud-based radar called Doppler, and it's shooting off the ground. It's miles away, and they're trying to calculate where the large hail fell off the cloud tops. It's a great tool, but it's not perfectly accurate. I've been in battles with insurance companies who are like, well, we only show 1 inch hail here. That's what it says. And we've proven there's been 2 or 2.25 inch hail. By either eyewitness reports, someone has it in their freezer, or we've hired a professional meteorologist, spent thousands of dollars for them to calculate to an expert degree as an expert witness that this is the hail that fell at that site. And it can be dramatic. And then other times, the insurance company will even have bigger hail and they're paying for claims. And I'm like, no, it's a lot smaller. It still might have did damage. It might have not, but it's just quite an interesting science. And then the other big science is that everybody in the business relies on visual. An adjuster, and I've been an adjuster spanning, over 3 decades, starting in Canada as a junior adjuster, helping out an adjuster. And let me tell you, there is tons of roofs, especially flat roofs, where there's hidden damages to that membrane you don't see. I've won many $million claim where the insurance company said it is 0. And that's an important fact, is like sometimes you don't see the damages, and the adjusters aren't truly trained in this kind of forensic research. And you can have a flat roof that gets hit, and a year and a half later it starts spraying little leaks everywhere because the membrane was fractured through. And that's exactly why you want to hire one of the experts on this panel. We're all trained at that. We've handled those claims. And you could be bypassing a multi-million-dollar claim, and it goes past the statute of limitations, and you're really SOL to get compensated from your insurance on that claim.
Yeah, I've been on, coming from the manufacturer's side, we've seen a lot of damages before. And then I've also seen how much science, in the layman's terms, to say that Phil puts into discovering the actual damage. Because there are so many components to hail, not only the environmental, but also the structural components to the materials that are being used. Because you have, UV rays, you have wind, you have rain, you have sunshine, everything coming through. And there are so many parts that your roof is unique, right? It's not like every other roof right next to you. Your roof is unique to the damage that occurred, to the amount of exposure it's getting. And it's our job to discover that so that we can present a great case to your insurance company.
And
go ahead, Ron.
Wouldn't you say that on a commercial roof too? I mean, as the adjuster gets up there, you're not necessarily going to see hits inside on top of the membrane or anything else. You got to go over with, in some cases, we use drones that can look for the water inside the material to show that there's actual damage, because we've had adjusters get up on the roof, say that, oh, there's no damage here, but you don't know. So we're running thermal images. So even as a commercial insured, you can hear that, hey, there's no damage. I would still hire a contractor that can go up and do thermal imaging and 100% guarantee you that, hey, you have no water stuck in between the membranes or the dens deck, and that nothing's been is going to cause future issues.
Well, it's important, all that information, because I've been on claims where it doesn't look like there's any damage, and we've done infrared, nuclear testing, vector testing, and we found a lot of moisture. And so then we start looking further and further, taking test cuts, sending them to the lab, and we're finding fractures or damage to UV coating enough here or there. They're really hard to see. Sometimes they're hairline fractures. You can't see them. You end up, once you can isolate that there is water under the membrane, you can really zero in a certain area and see. Sometimes we just have fractures on the fasteners, which are spaced out several feet under the membrane, and it's very hard to find. And sometimes it's only on the underside. It hit the fastener screw hard enough to just fracture part of the membrane. And here's why that's a big deal, because several years, sometimes it's longer, but it is damage. That roof, that damage manifests itself, that TPO membrane or roofing membrane gets weaker. The damage is on the underside, not all the way through. And within a few years, it's to the surface and you're springing leaks everywhere. I've found that many times. We have a claim right now going on in the Springs. Insurance company says it's a couple $100,000. They didn't pay for the shingle roof. We will win that. And now they're arguing. I'm in appraisal on it, and they're arguing the flat roof. And I'm like, we have to look at this damage. And I'm one of the only people in the whole state, and there's very few of them in the country, that has a $20,000 uplift chamber. And I don't even want to tell you how much the training costs on it. And I was trained by the inventor of it, because that's who I wanted to be trained by. And we use this uplift chamber. And why this is important, I've got a church, I have a flat roof. The EPDM membrane, you can see the dimples in it, but it's not fractured anywhere. We took test cuts, but you know what happened? It was glued on. And since that hail hit that membrane and really impacted, it was really big hail, like 2.25, 2.5 inch. It's not adhered. And I'm like, it creates a liability next windstorm that roof could blow off into the parking lot, hit a child, hit an employee. Somebody could get hurt, or worst case scenario, much worse. And so that's a legitimate claim, and we got the forensics, and we're doing an uplift chamber test on that. And so these are things that are super important, and you want to look for, because if it's real damage, it's real damage. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes we'll end up spending $8-10 on uplift chamber test, and it's not there, the damage. We're still within the design pressures. There's no real damage. It's a heavy price. But when you have claims like that, it's really important. And my company, if we have a really troubled large claim, we will take a look at it. Sometimes we'll fund the entire project. If we believe it's damaged, we'll go make sure that we satisfy the criteria. So the burden of proof is proven in an insurance company, and they'll pay your multi-million-dollar claim. Now we've got a few more minutes here, guys, and we'll be wrapping up. Anybody else want to add anything?
Yeah, it's very important to have expert testimony occasionally in trials as to what really happened to the roof, what the damage is, to essentially prove that the insurance company didn't properly adjust the claim, that they delayed the claim, or they improperly denied the claim, and to really fight for the policyholder to get the roof that they're entitled to.
And let me jump in there, because we only got about a minute left. One of the things that happens now with insurance companies is they say, well, we've got proof that damage happened 3-4 years ago. You didn't call the claim in. So even though you had new damage, we don't owe for it. That roof was totaled 4 years ago. It's outside the statute of limitations. That's how important it is to work with professionals, get your claim called in.
Wouldn't you say, Phil, I think as it's about to wrap up, that if you have a claim or you haven't had your home or commercial checked, call in and you'll get a free
Yeah, you can get a free inspection analysis. We're live at insuranceclaimsradio.com. That's a wrap. I'm Phil Coutu. You can reach me at 303-997-4247.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim, or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience, and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.